Hello friends, in this video we will see the for loop. So the syntax of the for loop is we have a for keyword followed with bracket. We have initialize loop variable, a statement to initialize the loop variable, and loop condition. So a statement to check the loop condition and a loop altering statement. We have three different statements and the bracket is closed. After that we have a curly braces. Inside the curly braces we can have more than one statement, one or more than one statement. So how the for loop executes? It executes like this. First step one is initialization of the loop variable. First the loop variable is initialized to some value, and then step 2 is it checks the loop condition. If the loop condition is true, so the step 3 it goes to step 3 and it executes all the statements inside the for block, that's inside the curly braces. So after all the statements execute in the curly brace, it comes and then the next step is step 4. It's a loop altering statement. So here the loop variable is altered. Once the loop variable is altered, it goes to step 2 and checks the loop condition again. If the condition is true, it goes to step 3 and then it goes to step 4. Again loop altering takes place and again it goes to step 2 and the loop condition is checked. If the condition is true, it goes to step 3, and if the condition is false, it will skip all the statements in the for block that's inside the curly braces and goes out of the block, and any statements after the block will be executed, and the for loop is skipped at that situation. So whenever the condition is false, the for block is not executed, the body of the for is not executed, all the statements inside the for block is skipped. So if it's true, it's executed, and again the loop altering statement goes to step 4 and again it goes to step 2 and come back to step 3 if the condition is true. So this way the loop keeps on executing until the condition is true. So whenever we want to execute a set of statements more than one time, we want to execute the same set of statements, we can use for loop or any other loop. We'll see the for loop in this video. So this is how it works. The first step is loop initialization. So first the loop initialization takes place, and the next step is loop condition. It checks the loop condition. If the loop condition is true, it takes this path and executes all the statements inside the for block, and then it comes to step 4, that is the loop altering. And then once the loop variable is altered, it again checks the condition, loop variable condition. If the condition is true, it executes this way and keeps on executing until it is true. And if it is false, it will follow this execution path, and it will skip the for block. For example, if somewhere the condition becomes false, so it stops executing the for statements, it directly skips all the for block and then continues whatever the statements are available after the for block. So we'll see example 1. So now in this example we are storing a 0 inside the x. We are initializing x to a 0, and this is the step 1, and the step 2 is checking the condition. So x has 0, so which is less than 10. So this is true. 0 less than 10 is true. And the third step is execution of all the statements in the for block. Those are executed, all the statements are executed. We have only one statement right now here. So in this statement we are just printing the value of x here and say hello world. So now x value is 0, 0 colon hello world will be printed. Next, the x is incremented to 1. You can see the step 4, the incrementation loop altering statement is the step 4. So it takes place and again it comes back to step 2, which is the loop condition. Now x value is 1, 1 less than 10 is true, and again it's executed. All the statements in the for block is the third step takes place. All the statements in the for block gets executed, and again it goes to step number 4, increments the value of x to 2, And the next step is step 2, checks the condition x has 2 which is less than 10 and is true. So all the statements again executes, again goes to step 4, increments to 3 and goes to step 2, checks 3 less than 10 is true and goes to when it's true it executes all the statements inside the for block and then goes to step 4. Now it increments x value to the 4 and again goes to step 2. It checks the 4 less than 10 is true. It checks the condition. When the condition is true, it executes again and goes to the step 4. So now the value of x is incrementing to 5. 5 less than 10 is true. Again statements executes and again it goes to increment statement. X becomes 6. 6 less than 10 is true and all the statements get executed and again it increments to 7. 7 less than 10 is true and it prints all the executes all the statement inside the for block and again increments to 8 and now x has 8. 8 less than 10 is true. It again executes all the statement and increments the value to 9 and now 9 less than 10 is true, so execute all statements and now x becomes 10 and 10 less than 10 is 10 is not less than 10, which is not less than 10, so it becomes false and all the statements inside the for block is skipped. So now it comes out of the loop and we can see all the statement printed till when the x was equal to 9. When x became 10, it stopped executing and there is no output after that. So this way we can execute more than one time the same statement. We have one statement here. We can have set of statements. If you want to execute the same set of statements more than one time, you can use loop. So we'll see example 2. So example 2, we can see that the initialization statement is optional. You can leave it. If you don't write an initialization statement, there will be no compiler error you get. It's absolutely correct. If you can also leave the loop altering statement, but the loop condition statement is a mandatory field. You have to put the loop condition statement. So everything is similar to whatever we already seen now. So we'll see some programs in this video. We'll see what are the programs, very interesting programs we can see. Those are very simple programs, but it will be very helpful for you to learn how a for loop works. So we'll see the first program. So in this program, we have just declared a variable called x of type int. And in the for loop, this is a simple for loop where I'm initializing my loop variable. I'm taking that x as my loop variable. Now x is equal to 0. I'm initializing the value of the x. 0 less than 10 is the step 2 is the condition checking. So now x is 0. 0 less than 10 is true. So it gets executed. All the statement inside the for block gets executed. The step 3, and now after the step 3, x is incremented to 1. So now in the statement we can see we are printing the value of x. So first time it prints 0 hello world. Next x increments to 1. 1 less again it goes to step 2. 1 less than 10 is true. Again this time it prints 1 hello world. So next x becomes 2. 2 less than 10 is true. It prints 2 hello world. Again 2 increments to 3. 3 less than 10 is true. It prints 3 hello world. Similarly it goes on till 9. When x increments to 9, 9 less than 10 is true. It prints 9 hello world. After that x becomes 10. 10 less than 10 is false and stop executing. So we get from 0 to 9 we get the output, and after when x becomes 10 it will not be executed. So we'll see the output here. We say Alt F9 to compile the program and we'll say Control F9. So you can see from 0 to 9 we got the output. When x becomes 10 we will not get the output. It stops execution of the for loop. So now I'll say we can also do like this. If you want to start it from 1, you can use this 1 and save it, and I'll say Alt F9 and I'll say Control F9. Now you can see it's printing from 1 to 9. So it starts from 1. Whenever the x becomes 10 it stops. We want 10 times, we can use it like this. X less than or equal to So this time I'll compile it again. Whenever you do changes, you have to compile the program, and I'll execute the program. Now you can see it's printing from 1 to 10. So this way we can print from 1 to 10, 0 to 9, 0 to 10. Okay, and now I'll do a different operations. We'll initialize x to 10. We'll do it x greater than or equal to 10, greater than or equal to, we'll do 1. So we'll go in the reverse way. We'll decrement. So now x is 10, 10 greater than 1 is true, so this executes and prints 10 hello world, and then it is decremented to 9. So until x becomes 0, this full for loop keeps on executing. So we'll see what exactly the output is. I'll compile the program, Alt F9, and I'll say Control F9. So you can see it prints from 10 to 1. So in the reverse orders, you can also use decrement as your loop altering statement.